Good afternoon. I trust that you're well from wherever you're joining us from. It is exactly 1 minute to the top of the hour local time. We are broadcasting live from Nairobi, Kenya. We have a lot lined up for you in the world of news, including the resignation of the US ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman. More of these details here on TV47, but first, the highlights. Court orders the detention of Embu man who allegedly cut down his wife in cold blood as their children watched. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba reports that adults are primary culprits in this year's exam malpractice cases.
There were a number of arrests that took place in Eldoret, and all of them relate to adults. The students are not really part and parcel of that particular syndicate.
And in Machakos, a health crisis looms after health workers in Machakos County announced plans for a strike. Once again, good afternoon. Welcome on board. My name is Moga William, here with the latest from across the country and even beyond the borders. We start in the corridors of justice, where a 26-year-old man accused of murdering his 24-year-old wife in Iravare village in Mbeere South has been detained at Kiretire police station for the next 14 days, pending further investigations. At Chicago Law Courts, Senior Prosecution Counsel Eric Momanyi successfully applied to have the suspect held while the investigations are to be completed. The court rejected the man's request for bond, citing concerns for public safety. Magistrate Stephen Nge acknowledged the accused's right to bond, but noted that in exceptional cases such as this, bail can be denied.
We are seeking for prayer number 2 of the application, to the effect that this court be pleased to order that the respondent be detained at Kiretire police station for 14 days to enable the investigating officer complete investigations into an offense of murder.
The Constitution envisages instances in which bail can be denied, and the further decrees that such denial may only be allowed where there are compelling reasons to do so. In the present case, it has been deposed by the investigating officer, Chief Inspector Janet Akem, in a supporting affidavit sworn on the 12th of November 2024, that the likely witnesses in this matter are close family members of the respondents.
Now, to a developing story. U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, has resigned days after the election of Donald Trump to be the 47th President of the United States of America. In a statement issued today, Whitman confirmed that she has submitted her resignation to President Joe Biden, where she noted that it has been an honor and privilege to serve the American people through strengthening America's partnership with Kenya. In the statement, she noted that and I quote, "American people have spoken and a new president will be inaugurated in January. I wish him and his new team success. Our embassy benefits from highly skilled Kenyan and American employees who will continue their efforts under the leadership of Charge of the Affairs, that is Mark Dillard, to advance the shared goals on which our bilateral relationship has long been grounded." End of quote. Today's statement is contrary to last week's Thursday that Ambassador Meg Whitman issued, vowing to remain in her post despite a growing online criticism. All right, so there you have it. Just some of the news that are developing, whereby the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, announces her resignation as the ambassador of the United States here in Kenya. This follows the election, days after the election of President, that is Donald Trump, as the 47th President of the United States of America. Now, in other news, residents of Lurambi, Shinyalu, Mumias East and Butere constituencies are calling out their leaders for failing to collaborate on vital bridge construction. The lack of bridges in these areas has severely disrupted access to essential services, including education. Students have struggled to attend school due to the high cost of crossing, while residents rely on makeshift wooden bridges that often wash away. The community is urging local leaders to prioritize infrastructure development to alleviate these challenges.
Many people use boats for fishing, leisure, among other uses. However, in Imango and Musango village, within Butere and Mumias East sub-counties respectively, travelers heavily rely on boats daily to cross River Lusumu, which separates these two villages.
Tumefungwa, tuko hapa ngambo na ile ngambo, lakini hatuwezi wasiliana.
Wanaweka miti inapomoka, wanaweka miti inapomoka.
The situation is similar in the villages of Mundulu and Shitao and Shinyalo and Lurambi sub-county respectively. Here, the lack of a bridge over the Suhu River has been a major obstacle to the growth of business between these two sub-counties.
Hatuwezi fanya biashara, hatuwezi enda hospitali, hatuwezi enda sokoni.
Wamekuwa wakiaka katika hii maji, watoto wa shule, kuna wakati tulipoteza watoto wawili wa mtu mmoja.
Despite the availability of boats here, many residents complain about the lack of money needed to pay for the service, with some stating that the lack of funds contributes to young girls getting sexually exploited by young men who present themselves as helpers, willing to assist them to cross the water bodies.
Our girl child is very vulnerable when they come to this place and they find maybe the boat rider has not woken up. They are left here stranded. And it is at night. Believe me, that is a risk itself.
Hii boat huwa tunalipa daily. Unapata sometimes hata mzazi hauna hiyo pesa ya kuvukisha mtoto apita aende shule. Unapata mtoto amekaa nyumbani juu hakuna hiyo pesa ya kuvukisha mtoto kwa boat.
Mwanzo mimba ameishika pale msituni. Kwa sababu ya nini? Kukosa transport tu ya kuvuka pale.
The affected individuals, including learners, residents seeking medical care, and those in need of other essential services, are now appealing to their leaders to take responsibility and help them acquire bridges, which they strongly believe will greatly improve the living standards in these areas.
Sisi kwa huku general, huku ni private. Sasa wakitaka kuvuka lazima wakuje wapite na hapa. Na wakati mwingine maji nakuwa imejaa, mvua imenyesha, sasa huwezi vukisha hivyo mtu haraka haraka.
Tunataka tumpe ujumbe area MCA ya kwamba sisi hatuna shida na yeye, akuja atufungulie njia, na kama hatafungua akisikia mtu mwingine amefungua asione ya kwamba tumemdharau.
Walituahidi baada ya wiki mbili hii njia itakuwa imefunguliwa na engineer ataanza kuleta material. Tangu siku hiyo hata MCA mwenyewe hatumuoni.
Kinto Wafula, TV47.
Thank you, Quinto, for that report. Elsewhere, the Ministry of Education has identified adults as the main culprits behind this year's exam malpractice cases. Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba revealed that a full report on the irregularities will be released after the exams conclude next week. During the distribution of KCSE exam papers in Kiambu, Ogamba confirmed that suspects are already facing legal action. The Cabinet Secretary also directed school administrators to remain in their posts until the distribution of textbooks for grade 9 is complete.
We are undertaking this examination under very strict regulations, and any malpractice, any attempts are being handled, and most of them are actually being handled before they occur because of the multi-agency approach that we are using, where we have teams in the ground, and the teams are able to identify certain malpractices before they happen. And because of that, and we are able to arrest those attempts to ensure that the examinations that we are going to finalize next week will be the most credible so far. I will be collecting the statistics that I'll share next week when we complete the exercise. So far, there are a number of arrests that have taken place in CIA. There were a number of arrests that took place in Eldoret, and all of them relate to adults. The students are not really part and parcel of that particular syndicate. And I want to inform the Kenyans that once the arrests are done, the investigations are ongoing, and those investigations will be able to reveal the extent of the cartels that are involved in this particular attempts. And once we determine, we'll then be able to proceed with the prosecutions and ensure that whoever is involved faces the full force of the law. With respect to grade 9, we have proceeded with the construction of the required classrooms. We are going on. We have done 3,500 classrooms so far to 100% completion. The second phase that is dealing with 7,500, we are almost at 57% completion across the country. And this last phase, which is 5,000, is also at various stages of construction. So we anticipate and we are looking forward to ensure that by the time we open schools in January, the 16,000 classrooms that were assessed will be in place.
Renowned judge, that is Lee Gashiga Moga, has released his autobiography titled Audacity and Sacrifice, My Life and Career, to document his inspiring journey of close to 80 years, more than 30 years as a legal professional. The book chronicles his experience as a lawyer and public servant, illustrating his commitment to uplifting marginalized communities and creating better opportunities for Kenyan lawyers. Through personal anecdotes and insights, Judge Moga shares the lessons he has learned along the way. He also recounts his role as lead counsel in the Judiciary Commission of Inquiry investigating the conduct of former Attorney General Charles Njonjo. As a member of the Kanu Review Committee, he also chaired the team that investigated the 2003 Busia air crash.
I think that is the shortest you can put of the definition of leadership. What leadership calls for? It calls for sacrifice and courage. At that time, when Africans were thought to be not capable of being lawyers, that was largely advocated by one of the lawyers, then Attorney General Charles Mugane Jojo, was that first of all, people must believe in you in order to come to give you work.
Eliud Owalo, Deputy Chief of Staff in the Executive Office of the President, has pledged to oversee a detailed investigation into infrastructure projects in Mombasa and Lamu counties. Owalo's visit aims to address challenges faced by contractors and local residents in executing these projects. He emphasized the government's commitment to ensuring that projects are completed on time, within budget, and of high quality.
It will also facilitate faster connectivity from the SGR terminus into the town, and it will reduce congestion at the Likoni ferry for those connecting from Mombasa to Kuala. I'm happy to report that one of the fundamental milestones that we have realized within the special economic zone so far is to ensure that compensation for those who are displaced is at 90% completion rate. The remaining 10% will be sorted out by KPA in the next 1 week. Yeah? There were certain small challenges which are not insurmountable, so all of those payments should be settled within the next 1 week. We have got tax rebates by way of income tax, corporate tax, and even excise tax. So I want to assure prospective investors that the government will do its best to ensure that we have got a conducive and enabling environment for investors to deploy within this facility.
And Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and MSMEs Wycliffe Oparanya says the country has made tremendous strides in coffee sector, exporting more than 47,000 metric tons, up from 42,000 metric tons in the previous year. Speaking during the 5-year celebration of New Kenya Planters Cooperative Union here in Nairobi, the Cabinet Secretary said the growth highlights the unwavering demand for Kenyan coffee on the global stage, with the total export value reaching an impressive $252.12 million over the past 5 years. New KPCU has become a vital pillar of Kenya's coffee industry, distributing billions in the Cherry Advance funds and empowering thousands of farmers.
New ship, you can see a new ship, and a new ship just...
Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 1 year, we have seen remarkable growth and resilience in our coffee sector. According to the Coffee Yearbook 2022-2023, our exports rose from 47,957 metric tons, up from 42,858 metric tons the previous year. This growth highlights the unwavering demand for Kenyan coffee on the global stage, with the total export value reaching an impressive $252.12 million. On the domestic front, we have witnessed a 19% increase in coffee consumption.
We also want CRI to develop disease-resistant coffee. There is now a big move in the world that people are looking for organic coffee. Coffee that you do not put any chemical. Success of that journey comes when CRI should be able to develop totally resistant variety.
Kenya sasa mahali tunaenda inasuia sana kupata wakulima wapate production, mambo ya inputs, na ndio sasa serikali inaingia hapo. Wakipewa inputs, farm inputs kutoka mashinani. Juu last year but one tulipeana farm inputs, ndio sababu unaona sasa production iko juu sana.
In Garissa, farmers are receiving training and equipment from the Kenya Red Cross to protect their crops from recurring flood along the Tana River. The Red Cross has also planted miombo tree seedlings along the riverbanks to reduce soil erosion and prevent floods. Additionally, 10,000 sandbags have been provided to mitigate soil loss, and solar-powered floating pumps have been installed to ensure farmers have access to water even during floods. The Garissa Farmers Network has called on both the national and county governments to increase what they term as support for flood prevention.
Tumekutana hapa leo kwa ofisi ya Red Cross kupokea msaada ya shamba 3 katika organization yetu. Usaidizi ni kusaidia wakulima kupata maji ya solar irrigation system na kusaidia hawa kupigana na maji zinazotoka kutoka mto kuharibu mashamba. Riverbank protection is one of the riverbank floods are one of the challenges in our area. So Red Cross has taken the time to study and pilot on these 3 farms to reduce the impact of floods. In so doing, they are providing these tools we can see around and bags for sanding and putting rocks in and other things. Also planting trees, bamboo trees which will be coming. We thank the organization for thinking that way. We hope other organizations will ape the same and do equal works.
The Kwale County government has dismissed claims by activist Morara Kebaso that key development projects, including the 118 million shillings Kombani market and the 600 million Shimba Hills fruit processing plant, have been halted. Finance Minister Bakari Sebe explained that the legal disputes have delayed several projects, such as the 277 million Mabokoni Road and the governor's residence, which had its budget cut to 45 million shillings due to ongoing lawsuits with contractors.
Tuko na miradi ambayo inapangwa zaidi ya mwaka mmoja, ambao kwa kizungu tunasema ni miradi ambayo inakuwa phased. Na hii miradi ya mwaka mmoja huwa fedha zake zinapatikana huo mwaka. Hii miradi ambayo iko phased tunaifanya kulingana na uwezo wa mfuko wetu. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha, kwa mfano tuko na mradi wa milioni 300. Uwezo wa serikali ni milioni 100. Basi mradi ule kwa ule mwaka utafanywa uweze kuambatana na kile kiwango cha fedha ambacho tuko nacho cha milioni 100. Kwa hivyo kuna uwezekano mradi ule uchukue miaka 2 au miaka 3. Na hiyo miradi hiyo sio mingi, ambayo tunaita flagship projects. Na hii ni miradi ambayo lengo lake kabisa ni kustimulate, yani kuleta msisimuko wa maendeleo.
And to the neighboring county of Kilifi, where residents of Maweni settlement in Mtwapa are living in fear after one of their own was brutally attacked and set ablaze amid a long-standing land dispute. The community alleges that land grabbers, in collaboration with police officers and a local vigilante group, are behind a series of violent attacks and house burnings aimed at displacing them from their ancestral land. Now, Francis Auma, a rapid response officer with Muslim for Human Rights, that is Muhuri, criticized the Mtwapa police for failing to intervene and protect the residents. Auma accused the police of siding with the land cartels instead of upholding the rule of law.
Maswala ya Asani kuuawa kule sehemu za Maweni Mtwapa ni jambo ambalo polisi wanalijua. Sisi tumekuja hapa, familia imekuja hapa kugadhabika kwa sababu hakuna inquest ilifanyika. Inasemekana Asani alipigwa na mob justice, lakini uchunguzi wetu tumeangalia kuwa polisi wana encourage. Hii yote ni kupigania maploti, mashamba kule. Polisi wameganywa mashamba, polisi wenyewe ma-DCI watu hapa wameganywa maploti, na hawa wanadhulumu watu wakitumika na wale makatel sungusungu. Sasa kama wewe you are against police na wale watu wengine mabonyenye kupata ploti vile Asani na maploti zile nzao, utauawa, na hata ukiuawa inakuwa ni mob justice. Kwa hivyo Asani aliuawa na mob justice, na polisi wali encourage, walikuwa pale wakiangalia Asani akiuawa na hawakufanya lolote, na mpaka wa leo waliomuua Asani wanajulikana. Nobody has been arrested. Ndio ujua polisi wanahusika pakubwa na masuala haya.
Nilipigiwa simu hapo na majirani, wakaniambia njoo Maweni, nenda Maweni haraka, kuko na bwanako amekufa na anachomwa. Sasa nikamuuliza, kwa nini bwanangu amefanyaje? Mara moja hii saa 12 hii ametoka sasa hivi. Saa hii mara moja hii Hasani amekufa, kwani amefanyaje? Hata kama pengine ameiba, amesulumu mtu, basi situjue, kwani si sheria haiko? Hata kama mtu ni kushikwa na kuwekwa ndani, sasa ataenda kujieleza. Kwa nini Hasani anauawa kiunyama na sisi hatujui chochote? Kwaendelea nini? Ndio nikaanza kutolewa matusi pale na wale vijana.
The Cabinet Secretary for Investment, Trade and Industry, Salim Mvurya, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to support the growth of the micro, small and medium enterprises sector, emphasizing that quality will be key to driving Kenya's economic growth. Mvurya highlighted that the current administration is focused on empowering both small and large enterprises, with the policies being developed to create a more favorable business environment.
Quality is a matter of accountability. Quality is also a matter of trust. And therefore it is essential that when we discuss economic empowerment, especially on matters of agriculture, manufacturing, trade and services, then quality becomes the fulcrum within which we pivot around our products and services so that we can be able to maintain our profile as a country, but also enhance our ability to access the new markets. You know, the new markets in the Economic Partnership Agreement in the EU, and the new markets in the whole of Africa with a population of more than 1 billion. That market access is a competition. And what will determine who enters and who exits is the quality of products and services that we offer. So we have no choice. We have to ensure that we remain at the top, because as government we continue to open new markets. In fact, right now we have finalized the comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the UAE.
The Kenya Quality Awards shine a spotlight on organizations that are setting new standards of excellence, and we are all here to appreciate this, inspiring others to raise their benchmarks. And as we celebrate these achievements, we set a vision of Kenya that embraces quality as its trademark, a brand that promises reliability, integrity, and innovation.